All right, so get ready, because we're going to dive into something pretty interesting today. We're going to be looking at how, like, your childhood experiences actually can influence what you buy as an adult.
Wow.
Pretty cool, right? We're going to be checking out excerpts from the audiobook Unthinking by Harry Beckwith.
Okay.
And have you ever just felt that pull towards certain products or brands? You know what I mean? Like, you're just drawn to them.
Yeah.
Well, turns out it might be our inner child playing a bigger role than we realize. What do you think?
It's true, yeah. I mean, we make so many decisions every day without really thinking about the why behind them. And
Oh.
a lot of that why goes way back to our childhood.
Exactly. And Beckwith uses this really interesting example from basketball.
Sure.
Okay, so remember that Sports Illustrated poll where they asked all these NBA players who they would choose to take that game-winning shot? You know, like down to the wire,
Yeah.
who do you want taking that shot?
It was Kobe, right?
Yeah.
Overwhelmingly.
Exactly. Kobe Bryant.
Seems like a no-brainer.
Exactly. But here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
The data actually showed that Kobe's success rate with those last-minute shots wasn't actually all that great.
Interesting.
Like, it was good, it was respectable, but it wasn't like, yeah, Kobe, for sure.
Right.
So
Yeah.
why is there that disconnect?
Well, that's where this idea of heuristics comes into play. These mental shortcuts our brains use to make decisions quickly, especially when we're overloaded with information.
Yeah.
Think of it this way. You're at the grocery store, you're standing in front of a wall of cereal boxes, and you don't have time to really analyze every single ingredient list and nutrition label.
You just want your cereal, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what do? You grab the one you recognize, the one with the fun mascot, maybe one that reminds you of your childhood,
Right.
the one you always ate as a kid. You're not necessarily making a completely rational decision. You're letting those mental shortcuts guide you.
So are you telling me that even NBA players,
Mm.
yeah, these guys at the top of their game, are still influenced by these, like, subconscious childhood influences?
Absolutely. You see Kobe, big name, veteran player, shooting guard, high salary, all of those things, they just trigger this automatic association with success. Even if the data tells a slightly different story, it's a classic heuristic in action.
Wow. That's kind of crazy to think about. So
Yeah.
are we all just walking around making decisions based on these, like, subconscious childhood influences? I mean, is that kind of what you're getting at?
Well, to some extent, yes. But I think the key here is awareness, right? Once you understand these forces that are at play, you can start to question your impulses a little bit.
Okay.
Before you buy something, take a second to think, am I choosing this product because it's truly the best option? Or am I being swayed by some flashy packaging or catchy jingle, maybe something that reminds me of a toy I had as a kid?
Whoa, okay, yeah. I never really thought about it like that.
It's all about being a little more mindful.
So how else does this, like, inner child influence our choices? Are there any other examples you can think of?
Well, Beckwith talks a lot about the power of play in his book. Like, think about it. How much of what we do as adults is still driven by that need for fun, that sense of winning?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so like following sports,
Yeah.
like reading the sports page, doing fantasy leagues, or even using that, like, battle language at work.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we got to win this client. Like, we turn even serious stuff into, like, a game.
Exactly. We're turning it into a game, and advertisers know this, right? Think about the iPhone, for example.
Okay.
Those bright colors, they're not just stylish. They're subconsciously tapping into that joy, the simplicity of the toys we had as children.
Okay.
Jamba Juice does it too, with their cartoon-like branding, giving smoothies fun names. It all makes us feel like kids again.
Yeah.
Like, even walking into Costco feels like this giant treasure hunt. You know what I mean? You never know what cool or random thing you're going to find around the corner.
Right.
And those crazy deals, it makes you feel like you're winning somehow.
Yeah. It's like every trip is a surprise.
Yeah, exactly. And remember how exciting it was to open a present as a kid and not knowing what was inside. That's what Costco replicates so well.
Yeah.
They create this playground of unexpected finds, and it keeps us coming back for more.
Okay, this is like blowing my mind a little bit. So
Mhm.
brands are basically hacking our inner child to get us to buy stuff. Is that what's happening here?
In a way, yes. But there's also a positive side to it. Some brands genuinely tap into that playful energy
Okay.
in a way that really does add joy to our lives.
Like, what do you think? like eBay.
Yeah.
It's like that whole thing is like a game for adults.
Yeah.
Bidding on things, trying to snag a deal, the thrill of the auction.
The thrill of the hunt. Yeah.
Don't even get me started on Bolt Bus.
Yeah.
Finding that $1 ticket feels like you've won the lottery.
Totally. It's all about tapping into those deep-seated desires, right? That desire for fun, surprise, even a bit of competition that we've carried with us since childhood.
Yeah.
You know, even looking at just brand names themselves, Yahoo, Google, Juicy Couture, they all have that lighthearted, almost childlike feel. Yeah.
It's approachable, not stuffy and corporate.
Right. And now even kitchen appliances are getting in on the action.
Right.
I just saw this stand mixer in this like adorable shade of turquoise, and I was like, who says cooking can't be playful too?
Exactly. By adding that element of fun, a little whimsy, they're making everyday tasks a little bit brighter. It's a reminder that, we don't have to take everything so seriously all the time.
This is all so fascinating. It makes you think twice about, like, those impulse buys, right?
Definitely.
Like, am I really buying what I need? Or am I just responding to some clever marketing ploy that's triggering all these childhood desires? Have you thought about this? Like, I'm curious, what do you think about this?
Yeah. It makes you wonder, have I made any purchases recently where I can see that inner child influence? I'm sure we all have, even if we don't realize it at the time.
Yeah.
But, I think that's the beauty of this conversation. By becoming aware of these forces, we can become more conscious consumers. All right, so we've uncovered how heuristics, playfulness from our childhood can impact our buying decisions. But what about surprise? How does that factor into all of this? We'll dig into that right after this.
It's funny, right? It's like our brains are kind of wired to crave the unexpected.
Right.
Like we're always looking for something new and exciting.
Totally. If everything was predictable, life would be pretty boring, wouldn't it?
Oh, for sure.
I think that element of surprise keeps us engaged, helps us learn.
Yeah.
And it's a powerful tool for marketers too.
Absolutely. Like think about music, right? Like those moments that really make a song stick with you, like the ones you just want to hear over and over, they're often the ones that kind of catch you off guard.
It's so true.
Yeah.
Think about that unexpected octave leap in Judy Garland's Over the Rainbow.
Ooh, yeah.
Gives me chills every time.
Or how about the Rolling Stones using violins in As Tears Go By?
Right.
You wouldn't expect that from a rock band.
Not at all.
But it adds this whole other layer of emotion.
For sure.
And then there's Peter Gabriel's Salisbury Hill. That crazy time signature. It's like, wait, what just happened?
Right. Play that again.
Yeah. It's those surprising elements that make a song so memorable.
They make you want to listen again.
Yeah, exactly. It goes beyond just enjoying the melody. It's about creating an emotional response, a sense of wonder,
Yeah.
And that's what makes it stick with us.
And it's not just music, right? It's like,
no, not at all.
we love surprise endings in movies, jokes that rely on an unexpected twist.
Yeah.
Even something as simple as finding a cool prize in a Cracker Jack box.
Oh, for sure.
It all taps into that, right?
It all goes back to that need for novelty and stimulation. Our brains are constantly searching for new information and experiences. It's how we learn and grow.
Okay, so how does this whole surprise thing play out in the world of marketing? Because it seems like some brands have really figured out how to use it to their advantage.
Oh, absolutely. Costco is a great example. Remember when they offered that $180,000 diamond ring online?
Wait, what? A diamond ring at Costco?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It was a genius marketing tactic. By placing such a high-value, unexpected item alongside their regular discounted merchandise, they totally shifted our perception of price.
So it's like you see that crazy expensive ring, and then everything else seems like a bargain in comparison.
Exactly.
Even if that espresso machine is still $145, it feels like a steal next to a diamond ring.
That's exactly it. It's called anchoring. They set a high price point as an anchor, and then everything else seems cheaper.
Wow.
It's playing with our perceptions in a really clever way.
That's fascinating. And it's not just Costco, right? Doesn't Neiman Marcus do something similar with their Christmas catalog?
Yes. They always feature these, outlandish, over-the-top gifts,
Okay.
his and hers mummy cases or a private concert with a famous musician.
Seriously. Mummy cases.
I know, right?
That's hilarious.
Exactly. It's not really about selling those specific items. It's about generating buzz, creating a sense of excitement and exclusivity around their brand.
So even if you're not in the market for a mummy case, you're still talking about Neiman Marcus, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And maybe you'll be more likely to check out some of their other, more practical offerings.
Exactly. It's all about creating a memorable brand experience, and surprise plays a huge role in that.
Okay, so we've talked about heuristics, the power of play, the allure of surprise, but there's another powerful force at play here, something that has captivated us since childhood, and that's stories. We'll explore that right after this.
It's amazing, right? Like stories, they've captivated us since we were kids. From fairy tales to those books you just can't put down. Stories have this incredible power to stick with us.
They do, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not just about entertainment, right? Stories are how we make sense of the world. It's how we learn and remember information. Like, think about it. If I just gave you a list of facts, would you remember those as well as if I told you a story that connected those facts? Probably not. Like, I still remember that mnemonic device for spelling geography, George Eliot's old grandfather. It's ridiculous, but it worked.
Right. Stories give information like a framework, a context that we can relate to.
Yeah.
And the more engaging the story is, the more it surprises us or uses vivid imagery, the more likely it is to stick in our memory.
So you're saying that our brains are basically wired for storytelling?
Totally. I mean, it's been essential to human communication and survival for millennia. And marketers have definitely caught on to this in a big way. Think about a brand like J. Peterman.
Oh, I love J. Peterman.
His catalog descriptions weren't just product listings, right? They were captivating mini stories.
Oh, yeah, like that one about the Versailles hoof-pig belt.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't just a belt, it was like a piece of history, handcrafted by some Scottish saddle maker.
Yeah.
You could practically picture the whole scene in your head.
Right, and he used such specific details, playful language, and he created a whole world around his products. You weren't just buying a belt, you were buying into a story, like an experience.
But I guess there's a fine line there, right?
Yeah.
Like, it has to be authentic, right? You can't just slap, some fake story onto any product and expect people to just buy it.
Yeah, you're right. Authenticity is definitely key. We can spot a phony story a mile away, right? People buy into stories that resonate with them emotionally, stories that feel genuine and believable.
That makes sense. So, thinking about that, what are some brand stories that have really resonated with you? What was it about those stories that made them so compelling?
Yeah, that's a good question. Maybe it was the emotional connection, the values they represented, or even just a really clever and unexpected narrative. It's worth reflecting on, isn't it? Because understanding the stories we're drawn to can give us a lot of insight into, our own values and motivations as consumers.
So we've covered a lot of ground today. Heuristics, playfulness, surprise, and this power of storytelling. It all goes back to this idea of unthinking, like Beckwith says in his book. We make so many decisions on autopilot, influenced by all these subconscious forces from our childhood.
Right, but the exciting part is that once we become aware of those forces, we can become more conscious consumers. We can start to question those impulses, those knee-jerk reactions, and make choices that align with our true values and needs.
Exactly. It's not about, feeling guilty for loving those bright iPhone colors or getting swept up in a good Costco treasure hunt.
Right.
Yeah, it's about understanding why those things appeal to us and then making informed choices.
So as you go about your day, notice the stories you encounter, the marketing messages that catch your attention. Ask yourself, what's the story I'm buying into here?
Yeah.
Does it resonate with me? And does it align with my values?
That's such a great takeaway. Well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the surprising power of childhood.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We hope you've gained some new insights into how your past experiences can really shape your present choices. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep learning.